What is going on, everybody? It is me again. It's HorrorFan34, and welcome back to another video. And I guess welcome to another random listing video where I'll be showing you guys another list that I just thought off the top of my head. But I figured I'd pick a random year for you guys and do my top 20 favorite films from the year 1989. Now, it's really hard to do these kind of lists because you never know. Like, some say like they came out in '88, but they weren't released in the U.S. until '89, things like that. So I know I put Heathers in the 20 of '88, but that was before it was released in '89 in the U.S. So I'm gonna still keep that video up, but I figured I'd just put Heathers in here for '89 because it technically does say '89. But like I said, though, I kind of go by like these like years by like when they came out in the United States, so that's how I kind of count them by year. But you'll see what I mean in a second. But I figure I'd show you guys my top 20 favorite films of 1989. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get to it. Number 20 is Black Rain, a very underrated Michael Douglas film, directed by Ridley Scott. Very different film for Ridley Scott, way different from films like Gladiator and Alien and things like that. But this is a really fun, great 80s action film with Michael Douglas going into like the Japanese like underground, trying to find this bad guy and things like that. It's a really fun 80s action film, and it's definitely one of my personal favorites of Ridley Scott. So it's easily my number 20. Number 19. Dead Poets Society. Really great drama by Peter Weir, who did Witness with Harrison Ford, and I think he also did The Truman Show with Jim Carrey. But definitely one of Robin Williams' best films, definitely one of his best dramatic films. Just a really well done flick. I mean, everybody's seen Dead Poets Society. Number 18, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Probably my second favorite of the Vacation films, my first being the original Vacation. But I love Christmas Vacation. I love, Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo. And of course, Randy Quaid as Cousin Eddie. And you have Brian Doyle Murray in a supporting role. And just that whole rant with Chevy Chase when he drinks the eggnog. And he goes on a rant about his boss and things like that. And all the people in the living room are kind of staring at him in shock what he's saying. I mean, Christmas Vacation's a classic Christmas comedy. Number 17 is a really underrated flick that I feel like deserves to be seen a lot more. Relentless. Very underrated, like, serial killer film where basically the idea, you have Judd Nelson from The Breakfast Club, among other stuff, as your serial killer, where he was rejected from the police force. And he looks for victims by looking them up in a phone book and takes random victims. And you have two cops on the case. You have Leo Rossi and Robert Loggia, the late great Robert Loggia. You also have Meg Foster as Leo Rossi's wife. Directed by William Lustig, same guy that gave us the Maniac Cop films, the original Maniac, and Vigilante with Robert Forster. But I think it's a pretty underrated flick by William Lustig. Not many people talk about Relentless. Number 16, really fun comedy, The Dream Team. I think it's definitely one of my personal favorites of Michael Keaton. You also have Christopher Lloyd, Peter Boyle, and Stephen Verse. May both of them rest in peace. Directed by Howard Zieff, who did My Girl with Macaulay Culkin. But yeah, this is a really fun comedy about these mental patients going to the baseball game and things like that, and all the adventures they go through and things like that. But really fun comedy, The Dream Team. Number 15 is part of this 3-pack, but Dead Bang. A great action flick by John Frankenheimer with Don Johnson from Miami Vice. You also have Penelope Ann Miller, William Forsythe, Tim Reed, who was Mike Mike Hanlon from the original Stephen King's It, among many other stuff. But really great action for like Dead Bang. Number 14, one of my personal favorite John Candy flicks, Uncle Buck. Really fun flick by John Hughes. John Candy's great. You have Amy Madigan as the mom. A young Macaulay Culkin. You have Gabby Hoffman as the younger daughter. But yeah, this is a really fun comedy. John Candy, I really miss. He's greatly missed. Number 13, An Innocent Man. Criminally underrated movie directed by Peter Yates. Before this did Kroll. Really great flick where Tom Selleck is basically a blue-collar guy as a mechanic. He gets framed by these two corrupt cops. And he has to prove his innocence, pretty much. An innocent man. You also have F. Murray Abraham. Layla Robbins, who was Steve Martin's wife in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, is Tom Selleck's wife. But criminally underrated crime, like drama thriller. Number 12, great comedy flick, Major League. I absolutely love this movie a lot. It's one of my personal favorite comedies, one of my favorite sports films. Directed by David S. Ward. Great cast as well. Charlie Sheen, Tom Berenger, Corbin Burnson, James Gammon, Rene Russo, Wesley Snipes, which he's right there on the back. Wesley Snipes right there as Willie Mays Hayes. But yeah, great comedy, Major League. Number 11. Now this is one of the ones that was made in '88, but it wasn't released in the U.S. until '89. So I kind of count this as an '89 flick, but it's a great movie. Red Scorpion. Probably my favorite Dolph Lundgren film. I can't say his name right. Dolph Lundgren film. I Come in Peace is way up there for me too, but I easily had to go with Red Scorpion as my favorite. Basically, it's Dolph's version of Rambo, pretty much. Directed by Joseph Zito, who did The Prowler, Friday the 13th Part 4, Missing in Action with Chuck Norris. I think he did a couple of other things too. This is probably my... This and Friday the 13th Part 4 are pretty close for my number one favorite film that he directed. And I think he also did Invasion USA as well. But great action like Red Scorpion. Let's see. Number 10... Like I said before, I'm going to mention this again because it did come out in the U.S. in '89, even though it was made in '88. But Heathers, I've talked about this film a couple times. Really great dark comedy. It's the new Steelbook I got not that long ago, but a great movie. It's definitely one of my favorite dark comedies. Number 9, I've mentioned this film quite a few times before as well. Meet the Feebles. My favorite Peter Jackson film, pretty weird, bizarre flick. Pretty much if the Muppets were R-rated and raunchy, that's pretty much what this is. Pretty weird, crazy third act finale on the stage, but love Meet the Feebles. Number 8, The Burbs. One of my personal favorite Tom Hanks flicks, really great fun, dark comedy. You also have Carrie Fisher, Bruce Stern, Corey Feldman. You also have, what was his name? Courtney Gaines, who was Malachi in Children of the Corn. Music by Jerry Goldsmith, directed by Joe Dante. But really fun flick, The Burbs. Number 7, that one right here. Glory. Fantastic war film directed by Edward Zwick. Matthew Broderick, Denzel, Cary Elwes, Morgan Freeman. Just a great flick. I also have the film on Blu-ray, but My third favorite war film behind Uncommon Valor and Casualties of War. Love Glory. Number 6, I have right here. Underrated movie, Lock Up. It's a film I really want to get on Blu-ray at some point, but definitely one of Stallone's best films with Donald Sutherland as the villain, John Amos, Frank McRae, Sonny Landham, directed by John Flynn, who did Brain Scan and Out for Justice, did this film. Great movie. Let's see here. I think I'm on number 5. Yep, number 5. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I love this movie a lot. One of my personal favorite comedies. I mean, what more can you say about Bill and Ted? And I actually forgot one. I'm going to go grab it real quick because it's my number 4. Okay, so here we go. Number 4, Tango and Cash. I love this movie a lot. My favorite buddy cop flick. Love Tango and Cash. Number 3, Batman, the original Tim Burton Batman. I mean, what more can I say about this one? Number 2, I just mentioned this already, but Casualties of War, my favorite war flick. I love this movie a lot. Directed by Brian De Palma with Michael J. Fox and Sean Penn. It's probably my favorite Michael J. Fox film. Love this movie. And my number 1 favorite film from the year 1989, it has to be this one. It's one of my personal favorite comedies and has 2 legends in it that are no longer with us. See No Evil, Hear No Evil. Definitely one of my personal favorite comedies. Hilarious as hell. Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder are fantastic in the film. Really funny dialogue. I mean, I can go on and on. This movie is just great. Really fun flick. And that was my top 20 favorite films from 1989. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you guys next time. You guys take care.